Good.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the second inspiration session of our project, Transatlantic Relatives. My name is Joeri, and I'm all the way talking to you from the beautiful island of Curaçao. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and also to the people who have submitted their work to our website. Thank you very, very much. Today, we have published the first 6 works, 3 from Ghanaian authors and 3 from Curaçaoan authors. Today, we have some very special guests. And today, we will also announce the names of the people who are traveling to Ghana from Curaçao to perform at the Paja Festival, and the names of the Ghanaians who are traveling to Curaçao to perform at the Wintertuin Curaçao Festival. So it's going to be very interesting. And thanks again to our great partners, the Writers Project of Ghana, also to the embassy of the Netherlands in Accra, to the Modern Fund for supporting this project, for our digital partners, Engrain. So I would like to give my good friend Martin the chance to also say some words. Martin.
Thank you. Martin, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joeri, and thanks, Bernard, for noticing that. I want to welcome everybody who is able to join us this evening for the second inspiration session of this Transatlantic Relatives project, and I am really glad to see how far we've come. As Joeri said, we do have people who have been selected to participate both in the Wintertuin Curaçao Festival and also in Paja, a literary festival in Accra, the first in September and the second in October. But tonight we are going to be listening, well, tonight in Accra and this afternoon in Curaçao, we are going to be listening to a conversation that is going to be hosted by Dr. Bernard Akoi-Jackson. And also we have one panelist from Ghana, Crystal Kwadwa-Tettey, and she is actually also going to be giving us a performance as well. And we also expect that we will have other voices from Curaçao joining the conversation, and we'll be running for about 1 hour, and it's I'm expecting a really interesting conversation. And so at this point, I'd like to hand over proceedings to Bernard Akoi-Jackson.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Martin, of Writers Project of Ghana, of which I'm a member also, for inviting me to moderate this conversation. It's now going to end up being a monologue, but it is a dialogue between a group of people. Thank you also, Joeri, for being at the forefront of organizing, and also thank you, Nanaya, for always being the connector, the middleman, somewhere there. I hope many more will join. Okay, we have 16 participants, that's great. But we are looking forward to more people joining. And this is a neat, a very necessary time, I guess, and necessary sessions to have at this point of Ghana's history, where we are trying our best to reach out across our country, across the continent, and then across the diasporas of Africa to find our kith and kin across the oceans. And it is great that such a thing is happening in the literary world, artistic world, and I'm glad to be a part of it. This evening, we're supposed to have a conversation between Crystal Kwadwa-Tettey and what's the name? Eleonora, Kaviani Eleonora, but Kaviani is traveling right now, so he cannot be with us. So we'll go straight to the point and ask Crystal to begin her submission on, your idea. This is supposed to be an inspiration session. What are your ideas, your thoughts from the onset about Curaçao? What do you know about Curaçao and Ghana, the relations between the two spaces? And what do you offer us this evening? Not necessarily by way of art yet, but your general views before we go to art. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Akoi-Jackson. For starters, I think this is a very laudable initiative in the sense that, like you mentioned, Ghana is at a point where we're looking for our kin. We're all familiar with the story of the transatlantic slave trade, from which you take the name of the project, Transatlantic Relatives. And so much has been done to disrupt, disturb, poison our growth and our kinship, if you will, through centuries, that now we need to make, to be very intentional about, rebuilding, about finding family, to open our arms to family that's coming home as well. And so when I think about Curaçao, I think about the many places we were scattered. And so, it's family for me, cousins, family, brothers, sisters. Yeah, it takes me to a dark place of our history, her story, but a very necessary step back for introspection. And once we understand where we are from together, the journey forward is much lighter. And I'm also thinking about what's happening in Niger, for example. It's always a reminder that the more divided we are, the easier it is to take us down. That we really need to be closer, more so today.
Thank you, Crystal, for that fresh opening. And I'm glad that you mentioned Niger, which is a very current issue in relation to our kinship as brethren, as sistren. The fact that sometimes we may want to wield power, but we are probably in the service of the empire, and so we have to be careful what we do and how we deal with our kith and kin when we see that when we claim that they are going out of hand. Thank you very much for this. So as we are trying to deal with these histories and how we seem to be scattered, is it possible to comment on efforts or the potential that is within art practice that could help us? Like what we are doing now, but could you comment on that potential to that makes us reach beyond politics, or not necessarily even politics, but partisanship and the divisive politics that have prevailed? How do the arts, and particularly literature or visual art, empower us to be able to reach across such spaces? Crystal, this is to you again.
Sure thing, Doc. I regularly deliver workshops in creative writing, specifically for spoken word artists. And I like to hammer on the fact that I think of us artists, as a conscience of our societies. So we have a particular responsibility, not just to report or to document what's happening at the moment, but to speak truth to what we see, and seek to right wrongs, if you will. It sounds very grand, but yeah, with our writing, with our words, with our art, and collaborations are even stronger because there's power in numbers. So we're able to reach farther and faster even when we reach across these divides.
Since we do not have a counterpart yet physically from Curaçao, maybe Joeri, even though you said you will not speak, we may still invite you to comment on, this, since we are beginning this exchange, and there is the need for travel. I've also been involved in exchanges where even if you have to travel to your kith and kin across such spaces, we still have to pass through, for example, Caribbean visas must be somehow as a necessity be mediated by, once again, the countries in the in the empire. So how do we deal with these? For example, two practitioners from Curaçao will be coming to Ghana, and two from Ghana will be traveling to Curaçao. They would have to, as a right of necessity, pass through the Netherlands. What is the role of the Netherlands, particularly historically, in all these issues, and then in current engagements? What do they bring to the table? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bernard. Yes, this project for me started with curiosity, as all my projects do, because I was looking at the world map, and I looked again at how close, as I also wrote in the short story, maybe you've read it on the website, how close we are from Western Africa. And we can feel it every year when we get to what they call the Sahara sand over here. So a friend of mine is a pilot, and I asked him, well, if you could have a direct flight, let's say from Barbados, which is the most eastern island in the Caribbean, to a place like Dakar, he told me, well, that would take maybe like 6 or 7 hours. And I said, okay, but in reality, we have to go through New York, we have to go through Amsterdam, which takes much more time and makes it much more expensive. And then I started reading, I started reading about airlift, and I found all these articles saying, yeah, now we're going to really have airlift. We're going to start direct flights, and then nothing. And then again, no, this is the moment. Let's connect, and then nothing. And for me, when I think about infrastructure, I always think that infrastructure should follow demand. You can have a great infrastructure, but if there's no demand, then it won't last, it won't work, it won't be maintained. So what I would like to, and I believe in content. So I think that through content, we can create demand for the infrastructure to be put in place. If there are enough people that need to travel or want to travel from West Africa to the Caribbean and vice versa, be it because of culture, tourism, business, education, anything, we will come to a point where this airlift will be possible, and it will be much easier for people to travel back and forth. Because what I found very interesting,
Okay, it seems that Yuri has.
that while
All right, good.
I froze?
Yes, we lost you for a few seconds. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say is that for me, this project is about creating content, creating a connection. Of course, we have the physical exchange, but the more important part, I think, is the digital exchange through the website and through these sessions, so that it becomes easier for people to connect and to also be able to travel back and forth. So we create the demand through the content that we share with each other.
Thank you for this. So maybe back to you, Crystal, quickly. What do you think that the artists, and here I speak to the expanded field of creativity, what do you think the artists can do to push forward this demand that Yuri is suggesting we create? Apart from these engagements, what urgency can we put into our work that could lead to the establishment of these airlifts, for example? And maybe I'll come back on the issue of the airlift later when Crystal is done with this.
I mean, thankfully, there's social media. There's always a downside, but the positive side is our ability to reach wider audiences and reach the so-called powers that be faster with our hashtags, with whatnot. We can really get creative and decide en masse that we want to push certain subjects, certain agenda. I mean, sometimes we find ourselves at the mercy of some of these institutions. And where the funds are concerned, for example, we have to speak to their agenda, but we can also start, collectively. Individually, I think we're very powerless, but collectively decide to push, for certain for some change that we need, and it goes faster. For example, on social media.
Yeah, thank you. So when you were talking, Yuri, about the elif, my mind went to the now failed efforts of Marcus Garvey and his Black Star Lines project. I also, apart from WPG, I also belong to a community of artists in Kumasi called the Black Star Lines, and we are sort of, yeah, it's almost as if rehashing or trying to reinvent that model of yeah, moving people en masse from the Caribbean or from the diaspora, African diaspora, back to homeland. Um, what can we learn, or what do we learn from those failures, knowing that some of the failures were not due to the incompetence of Marcus Garvey, for example, but to the workings of empire against the efforts. So what do you think could be put in place in our new efforts in the what Crystal mentions of hashtags and things on social media and also in the workings? What can we put in place, or what strategies can we evolve or devise to make sure that there's no repeat of what befell, let's say, Marcus Garvey's Black Star Lines project, for instance?
All right, I had to unmute myself. Well, I think that times have changed also for the better. Chris already mentioned social media. We are having this talk here with people from, I think, across the globe. Most of us are in Curaçao or in Ghana, but I believe there are also people tuning in from Europe, which means that it's much easier to connect nowadays. I mean, if you look at what these people managed to achieve in the past, you know, without direct communication, it's incredible how far they came. And for us, it's much easier. You know, we can send documents, ideas. We can look at each other directly. So I think it all starts with a human connection. For us in Curaçao, for instance, there's a Afro-Curaçaoan culture is a big part of our society. But if you look at the amount of people in Curaçao that have contact with people from the African continent, there's really a small percentage. And so I'm not just talking about people that have gone physically to Africa, but that speak to people that come from Africa, that meet them, even if it's just digitally. That's very limited. And that also has to do with I think, programming, and it has to do with the lack of platforms that connect us with each other. Or if they are there, then maybe we're unaware of them. So like I said, for me, they started with curiosity. I've never been to Ghana, but my father lives in Ghana, for instance. And I spoke to him, and I spoke to more people. And I thought, I heard about, and I have some Ghanaian friends in Holland where I used to live. And we always had a great time. You know, I saw a lot of similarities. Really, you know, people that love to express themselves, love music, love telling stories, love good food. I saw a lot of similarities, and I thought, let me just reach out and see what happens. So I just wrote an email, and I think I sent WhatsApp messages to Martin from the Writers Project. And before I knew, we were talking to each other, and they were in. So it shouldn't be that difficult to I think the times have changed. I think we're more open to work together. You know, it's not about imposing one thing or the other. It's more about finding common ground, and not just looking back, but especially looking forward to see how we can, you know, create great things without depending on third parties, so to speak. So I hope that this platform can contribute to that. And it's very organic in the sense that we just started. And let's see what happens. You know, I already talked to Martin last time, and Nana, you also told me, look, why don't we also invite the visual artists so they can also bring some aesthetics to the website? Yeah, perfect. You know, why not? I mean, we could have other countries join. We have more Ghanaians than Curaçao so far in this project, but it's not strange because Ghana is a much bigger country than Curaçao is. So maybe we need some more Caribbean countries to join so we can balance the energy a little bit. But you know, the sky's the limit. So let's just take steps. And for me, like I already said, it all starts with content because that's the way to get to people's hearts, I think, and that's the way to get things going.
Thank you very much. So, in talking about content, then at this moment, could we, since art is the excuse of our joining. Is anybody ready to share with us work that they have prepared? Here I'm asking not only Crystal, but also Germaine Jong Loy, Elvira Bonafacio, or Etienne Ice. Anybody who is ready to share, you can, and also to the public, if you want to share something or there's a comment, you can use the reactions and raise your hand so that we'll know you and call you. Gabriel Mainoo, if you are available. If not, then maybe since Crystal is our panelist, Crystal, if you are ready to share something with us before we continue,
Sure.
The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Apologies, there's music in the background, and I hope it's not too loud. I'm actually here in support of a friend of mine who's also a poet and has a concert tonight. And I'm mentioning this also because I wrote a piece about an hour ago today. So this is fresh and finished. He screened me at the gate, eyes scanning my hair, clothes, and feet for a clue. Are you here for the poetry show? This way. Orange sandals, kimono, hair of a diva. I look like poetry, apparently. Amma's text and mine collide in WhatsApp space. Boats you haul is where the action is. Instrumentalists and backing vocalists drink me in. I have arrived. I look like poetry, apparently.
Thank you very much, Crystal, for this. And yeah, thank you. And this is the inspiration session. Thank you that the situations you've gone through right now have inspired you to make this beautiful work of art. But you say it's not finished, but already it has great potential to turn out great.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, but then with the screening and all those things, what can we comment? Anybody now? It's open to Martin also, or Nanaya, or Yuri, everybody here.
If I may make just a quick comment, and I also see that we have Etienne, Germaine, and Gabriel who have their hands up. So I suppose this means that they are ready to share some work. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the conversation so far, and the whole idea of the interaction, I mean, a physical interaction or a physical exchange of bodies, so to speak, between the Caribbean and West Africa is still mediated. I mean, you still have to go through Europe or you have to go through America. I thought that was a really interesting thing in many ways because of the history. When the original bodies were being transported across, I mean, there was no mediation. I mean, the slaving ships, I mean, came to West Africa and they drove right over to where they were going. I mean, so it is a bit it's a bit curious to find that when the people are free, there is actually a little bit more. You have to pass through other places to visit your kith and kin, I mean, so to speak. And I found that quite a curious thing to note. In any case, as I did mention, there is the possibility of listening to work from a few selected people, and
Martin,
I guess that as the program goes on, we will know why these are the selected voices we are listening to. But Nana, I guess you could chip in.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that concern us on this project is how we are able to connect our shared history, and the point that Martin made is poignant, but think of it also in this way that every time that we have had to have a conversation about ourselves, it has not been possible to do it without mentioning some others. And I bring this up because, Kina Likimani, this daughter of Amata Edu, she always said she will say, Nana, why can't we talk to each other without referencing a common other person who may have mediated our lives, may have rendered our current situation the way it is? Why can't we talk to each other just among us? And I think that is very critical because with Martin's metaphor, in fact, history, that at one point the connection was direct and now it no longer is. We have to go through the one who first created the separation. It's quite interesting. So I think that for us, we should find ways of dealing with each other directly. And that will find the connection stronger than we actually believe it. I think we should take some works to enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Nanaya, for that input. And it's a fact. But it's also the mediation that we were mediated is a fact of our being. And we need to make use of those presences and see how, when the link has been established, then we can also take it further. And I would, since Etienne and Gabriel and Germaine's hands are up, as it appears on the list, I would mention. So Etienne, are you ready to share with us something? If you are, then please unmute yourself and then share. Yuri, you may have to unmute him. Yeah, Etienne, the floor is yours.
Do you hear me?
We do hear now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I must say it's a pleasure. I didn't raise my hand to read from my work because I'm terrible at it. I would just like to recommend you to go to the website and look at it. Okay. But I wanted to make use of the occasion to congratulate you, especially the organizers, for this initiative. I must commend you on that because very few people think about, connecting the two continents, being Africa and the Americas, and in our case, the Caribbean part of the Americas, because we only think about the link, between Europe and the Americas, and that direct link you guys have established right now, and hopefully we can build on to that. So that's why I wanted to interject for a little bit, just to commend you on that. Keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to the next meetings on the site, because I'm sure it will be much more interesting each time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome very much. You're welcome, and thank you. And also, we will encourage you to build the courage to also share your work verbally and not only print. But we'll go to the site and have a read of your work. Thank you very much.
Maybe next time I'll try that.
That will be nice. Thank you very much. Okay. You can lower your hand, and then so the next one who has raised the hand is Gabriel. Gabriel Mainoo, are you ready? Your dedication to poetry has lasted a very long time, and it is great that you have kept it up. And I don't want to jump the gun, so I will not mention what will come after that. But share your work with us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Joey, Martin. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
We can hear you, we can hear Gabriel. You. Continue.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Joey, Martin, Nanayao, Bernard Akoi-Jackson, for putting this together. You know, it's such an honor to be selected. Yeah. God bless you. So I am about to share my piece, and these two pieces are extracts from my collection of long poems called Sea Ballet, which my agents are working hard around the clock to pitch it to publishers, you know. Yeah. So the first poem reimagines the moment the slaves were marching out from the door of no return. So it begins with an epigraph. History is water. It begins with blood. 7 by 7, marching onto the Bailey in 2/4 time. Swift in rusted irons, soul to feet, feet to soul, feet to feet, soul to soul, and soul to soul. Bali, 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 oh freedom, Bali. Kadam bam bam, gadam dum dum, gadam bam bam, gadam dum dum. Bali, 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 oh spirits, Bali. As the whip witnessed the reopening of scars, he yelped and pummeled his emotions under a witness chain that scraps evil as twice asleep. In his left hand, a currency, a transparent rucksack of sparkling glass beads. When you are sold many times, your body begins to understand the vastness of land and places, that black is light, is nines, that nines belongs everywhere. Sometimes the brute wants nothing, just to hold the world in between her fingers, and for a while, and slipping into the rites of water, the vermilion vapor thumping on the bongo drum. Bali, 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 oh freedom, Bali. Gadam bam bam, gadam dum dum, gadam bam bam, gadam dum dum. Bali, 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 oh spirits, Bali. Yeah, thank you. So that's the first poem.
Thank you very much. So would you hold on with that work, and then we go to Germaine and then come back to you.
Absolutely.
And I think, yeah, we would come back to you, or who have shared your work, and maybe you will take us through not explanation but discussion. Thank you.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. And ready to share with us?
Hi. Yes.
Hello.
And I don't know what jury really wanted, if I had to read a piece from which I entered or something else.
I think at this moment you are at liberty to share anything that you have. Thank you.
Okay. Well. Maybe it's good to give you a little background information. My name is Germaine Jong Loy, and I'm living in Curaçao, but I was born and bred in Suriname. And when I started to enter this, when I thought of entering my work, I really thought of Suriname at first. So this poem came about, and then afterwards I made another story. But anyway, it's a nice way of still sharing the thought, because this is, I think, also another view on your theme of connecting. So here you have Dream Circle. I was born a pulse, unified by two vibrating hearts with unconditional love, to sustain stomping feet, clapping hands, and singing melody and harmony since the beginning of mankind. At sunrise, a libation poured at my naming ceremony, A wise old man whispered, "A pentima, it should be." A drop of palm wine from a leaf tasted so sweet, for only honorable words were mine to speak. For only honorable words were mine to speak. My phrases penetrated, transcended through rituals and ceremonies, cleansed the souls of those who'd listen carefully. Although my path was erratic, I balanced in between love and jealousy, wealth and poverty, life and death, about here and now, and what laid ahead. My mystique bowed for the divine, spoke the language of Shango, Ogun, Oshun, Obatala, Elekwa, Oya, and Yemaya. I flaunted their colors, and my rhythms, my rhymes, sizzled and hypnotized dancers who moved vigorously at candlelit nights. Wouldn't it fill you with pride, surrounded by wisdom-seeking kings? I was present when from the heavens the golden stool descended. Its bells rang, chased away bad spirits. I was the main character in a celebration, a glorious unification from different souls to one nation. My world changed. I tasted salt on my cracked lips. Heavy iron shackles felt overpowered by whips. My world changed into the scent of tobacco leaves, the weight of the coffee beans, hot boiling syrup of sugar cane. I saw people dying in resistance, in agony, in pain. Through the cracks of night, startled, I peeked. Relief. Gratefully, I survived because of maroon tribes. The Alukun, Yuka, Pa, Makasa, Maka, Quinti, Matawai, and Apinti became my name. Slowly, I rose to fame. In the new motherland, chanted songs of freedom carried by majestic rivers and moonlit tides. I echoed through the jungle my message of resistance. After abolition of slavery, I became a member of a fraternity as a result from our developing multicultural society. Sambura, the sound of native Amerindians so proud. Tango of China, a golden prosperity. High-pitched tabla from India, scatting about Lord Krishna. Indonesian kendang, part of music they called gamelan. But even in the 21st century, I wonder about all the ifs and buts and all that could have been. Soothing memories. Someday, yes, someday, I will fly back. The only salt, tears of joy, as once more I'll see my birthplace, where Anansi is treading my kente cloth, light as a feather. Doors of no return, welcoming, wide open, as I won't leave, but merely arrive. As I won't leave, but merely arrive.
I welcome you in Thank you very much for this. Just a little comment on the ritual of naming that you say.
Yes.
Has great affinity with traditions that we also share in Ghana when we name a child and dab their lips with drinks and water to tell the difference, to be able to tell between truth and the lies. So it's great. And then it's almost prophetic, isn't it? The work that you've shared with us and the wish to visit the motherland and where Anansi would be weaving your kente cloth. Thank you very much for this your work.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I saw Zafi at your hand was up. Rita, do you want to share something with us, and then we move on?
Let me just quickly jump in there before you go on. I just wanted to say, well, it's just me, but I did note the reference to the palm wine sliding on the leaf, and just to ask a question about whether in fact you do make palm wine in Curaçao.
This is
No,
Suriname,
no.
isn't it?
No. This is the part of the drum that is in Africa, and then it is from the ceremonies which include the name giving. So when this particular drum was given a name, it was given a name in Africa, but when it came to Suriname, it got another name due to circumstances.
Yeah.
And no, we don't make palm wine. We make rum in Suriname.
Even stronger than palm wine. Okay, Zafi, Rita, are you ready to share? And then, yeah, a few hands are getting up, so let's. Zafi, are you ready? Yeah. Please unmute yourself and share. And those who we have spoken to, you can lower your hands for now. Rita. Zafi Art, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please share with us.
Okay, thank you. Mumiengosha juata, ajuata. Mumiengosha juata, sane to sing. Let's go see ajuata. Let's go see ajuata. Feeling how she's faring. Ajuata, wada, ajuata. She's asleep, wada. Clear off. Timofrini sonkwa. Could have been mistaken for love. I have been so much in want of he. Almost a feel of need. So much in the need of he. Seized every chance I get to reach out. Tempting, attracting. My core self was already inlaid by he. Hence, the body has nothing it hasn't already lost. So I tried, but the excruciating feeling of pain, and yet without death, accepting my invitation wasn't fun. I have been suicidal. I am suicidal. Yet now I hold myself whenever I remember how painful it can get. Oh, death. Let's go see Ajuata. Mummy and Kosha Ajuata. To learn how she's faring. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rita, for that. Thank you for your wonderful piece. You can lower your hands now. Okay, so another hand is up if you want to share. Elvira, then we can go back to the discussion. Elvira? Thank you. Elvira? Please speak, Elvira. You're unmuted.
Well, I guess whilst we're waiting for Elvira, Elvira's audio, I think Yuri, it might be a good time to mention the submissions that have been published on the website for the audience.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, that's a really good idea. Oh, Elvira's just telling me that she has some issues with her microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, for the people that are interested, you can go to our website, Transatlantic Relatives .org, and then you'll find 6 first publications. So from the Ghanaian side, we have Kojo Kingsley, we have 100%, and we have Ijara Larry. So please read, have a look, share, comment. And from the Curaçao side, we have Lucette Forbon, who is also in this call. I don't know if you would like to say something, maybe, Lucette. I saw that you're here. We have Etienne Ace, who just spoke, who, by the way, is traveling to Ghana in a couple of weeks' time, and they will be there. We were leaving just before the Paja Festival, unfortunately. But his submission is actually the first chapter of his upcoming first novel. And we also have Asila Ten Holt. Now, there's one thing about her submission, because it's actually a video, which my technical team hasn't uploaded yet. So bear with us for a couple of days. So we will update that publication as well. But we have received more submissions, just that we don't want to publish them all at the same time. So these are the first ones. And to everybody who's interested, please keep on sending in your documents, whether it be text or video or audio, because we're really looking forward to that and to sharing it also with the people that visit our website. Elvira.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. We can hear you, Elvira.
Yes, wonderful. Hi, everyone. First of all, my congratulations for this wonderful project. When I heard about this project, I was like, oh yes, finally we can interact and see and share what all are those things we have in common, because thinking about our history made me think also about our traditions, our language, and also the way we see ourselves. And thinking about the way we see ourselves, I wrote a short poem today. It's not finished yet, but I would like to share it with you.
Thank you.
And it says, free measurement. By chance, have you seen my ruler? The 5-meter-long one, with enough space to measure me twice in case I decide to grow. Are you sure that you haven't seen my ruler? The one that measures my achievements, the achievements based on your expectations, reflecting on realities that still needs to be met. Take a closer look. See if you do see my ruler. It's there. If not, would you like to borrow my glasses? Let your brain register my ruler. Change the perspective, so illusion can transform into acceptance, and celebration can become part of our mission, so that together we can celebrate the route walked and each destination reached. Just use my ruler and you will see the beauty in each creation. Yes, that was it.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, the content or the subject actually is quite similar to what Crystal shared with us at the beginning, where she was being measured and figured out whilst attending an event at a public space in Accra. So thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
Any comments across board? Crystal, since you are a panelist, do you have anything to share with us again on your first your input and then the general discussion so far, and what everybody else has shared?
Thanks, Doc. I find it interesting that we both, Elvira and I, both wrote poems today on the same theme. The synchronicity is quite interesting. That's my first comment. And I love the way it's all coming together beautifully. The poetry speaks volumes about where we are in mindset and in heart, and our willingness and passion for reconnecting, if you will. So kudos to both teams, the teams from Ghana and from Curaçao.
Yeah, thank you for all this. And maybe at this point, is it healthy to make some announcements that we've all been waiting for? I think because we've spoken quite lengthily about what is going on, people have shared work. I think between Martin and Joeri, maybe it is time we can share with everyone else the artists who are going to exchange. So the group that is from Curaçao that is coming to Ghana, and the group from Ghana that is going to Curaçao. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bernard. I'll go first because our people are traveling first, so they need to know.
That's good.
Yes, we received some, I think, very interesting submissions. Most of them were of female artists. So it's not a big surprise that the two that we selected are also two ladies. One of them just shared something with you. Elvira Bonafacio is traveling to Ghana. And the second one is also attending Richelin Joe. Congratulations to both of you. And I'm sure you're going to have a great time in Ghana, and looking forward to hearing from you. The idea, by the way, for those who are not aware of, is not just that they will go to perform and they will also participate in the panel, but we also ask them to write down something about their experiences so that they can also share it with us on the platform afterwards. So it will be a trip to perform, to explore, and to reflect. So, Richelin and Elvira, congratulations.
And yeah, we congratulate you, and we look forward to welcoming you to Peja Literary Festival in Accra. And Martin, from your side?
Yes, first I will add my voice to the congratulations. We really look forward to having brethren and sisters joining the festival in Accra, Peja, in October. We really would like to expand the interaction that we have with Caribbean literature, and I think that Curaçao is a really good starting point to have writers joining the festival directly from the Caribbean. From this side, we have two names, two people who were selected, and I think that we've heard their voices. Gabriel Awuah Mainoo, and the commentary on his work was that his poetry spoke very directly and powerfully to the theme of Transatlantic Relatives. So I'd like to congratulate you, Gabriel Awuah Mainoo, for being one of the delegates, I should say, going to Curaçao from Ghana. The other is Rita Ekua Richardson, and the commentary on her submission was performance was very intricate, and Rita's submission was a dance and poetry performance, mixing elements of traditional dance and modern spoken word poetry. And that is our second selected delegate to go to Curaçao, Rita Ekua Richardson. And so congratulations to you as well. And I must mention that, as Yuri said, we hope to continue receiving submissions throughout the coming months. The Transatlantic Relatives project runs for an entire year. So, Yuri?
Yeah, thank you, Martin. And obviously, Gabriel and Rita, we're looking forward to receiving you here. We have some activities planned already. I spoke to a great tour guide, good friend of mine also. He's called the Afro Tour Guide. So anyway, we'll get into details. It's going to be a great time here. I forgot to just give a little detail also about, you know, how we came to our selection. In the case of Elvira, very personal, at the same time universal submission that relates to, I think, everybody from African descent all across the world. So the micro macro perspective combined was very interesting to us. And in the case of Richeline, very related to the theme and also the link between the past and the future in one submission. So we're really impressed by both of them. Back to you, Dr. Bernard.
Okay, thank you, Martin and Yuri, for sharing this good news with us. And we are excited to have this exchange happen. And we are also excited that the two teams would have to go through their send their requisitions, their request for travel through somehow the Netherlands embassy and back and forth. But we hope that it will all be well. How are we doing on time? I think, Crystal, are you still available with us, or do you plead to disappear?
That's really kind of you, Doc. I think at this point, if I could disappear, I would be most grateful. I'm most grateful for the love and for this evening's sharing. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Thank you also for being there for us and sharing not only your work, but also your ideas and your thoughts on these exchanges. Maybe Yuri and Martin or Nanaya would say something else to Crystal before she jumps onto stage with poetry.
Yeah, I mean, if I may, I'd like to say thank you to you, Crystal, for joining us and also your perspectives. Your work, I found the connection between you and Etienne, that synergy across the oceans and across time was very exciting for me. And I wish you all the best in the performance. I mean, I can see all the lights up on the stage behind you, so I'm sure it will be an interesting evening where you are. All the best and thanks for joining us.
Thank you too, and congratulations once again to both teams traveling.
Likewise, thank you very much for participating in the project and for being our panelist today. Very inspiring, Crystal, and good luck with the performance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just jump in and say this, as I had indicated at the beginning of the session, that I wanted to make a few comments about our upcoming festival, Peja, a literary festival in Accra. And just for purposes of reminding everybody and also to encourage you to share the word, the festival is going to be running from the 13th to the 15th of October 2023. And we are fortunate to be collaborating with Wintertuin Curaçao on this year's Peja. And the guests who we've spoken about, who won the selection to come to Accra, will be actually part of the festival. So if you want to hear their work and meet them, I mean, Peja is what you should target in joining. And I also would like at this point also to mention, with thanks, the sponsors for this project who also are helping us with Curaçao. So from our end, we are grateful to the Embassy of the Netherlands for doing more mediation, not only in terms of travel, but of the program itself. So I wanted to chip that in and let everyone remember the upcoming Pija Festival. I think I'll say a few words before.
Yeah, good. I would invite you again, Martin, to come. But maybe we would like Gabriel to share his last poem before we move further. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
All right, thank you, Bernard, for handing the mic over to me, and thank you, Martin and Joey, for the selection. You know, I felt honored. So yeah, this time I am doing something different. So instead of beginning with a libation, I will end with one. Kokoko, kokoko, I go. Insue bibi man, insue bibi ni, I go. Kokoko, kokoko, insue bibi man, insue bibi ni, schnapps, jaguar blood, palm oil, popped cassava lambs, orgasm. The altar is lush. Eat. Odumankuma, Odumankuma. Insohini Poseidon. Insohini Neptune. Orgasm. The altar is lush. Eat. Despite our illogical algebraic logarithms and polyrhythms, the redundant calculation before land, infallible water, except our fallible reckoners and Lord know the molars of the cold assaulters. Our little libation is a protest for a native slave unaware of sniffing earth in a deep dry puddle of Coca-Cola. Schnapps, jaguar blood, palm oil, pumped cassava lambs, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. Odumankuma, Odumankuma, Insohini Poseidon, Insohini Neptune, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. We humbly throw our weights under the anger of your hunger. In you, whose nightmare I lost my mother, expanders and makers bowmen of large scrotums. Psychorax, Psychorax, there is fire, Delta fire. Psychorax, step back, you cannot help us. Hera, Apollo, Cybele, gods made from mantra, out of marrow and vapor, from you, our God, our witness, a baobab spirit, eyes of the dead. Odumankuma, Insohini, schnapps, jaguar blood, palm oil, popped cassava lambs, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. Odumankuma, Odumankuma, Insohini Poseidon, Insohini Neptune, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. Water, whose gate is an exotic proverb. We have no history until its hind legs move backwards. Nor today, if we do not medal of submissions. There is no destiny until their front legs remembers tomorrow is a beautiful twilight already behind us, gasping for sunlight in the cracked, creaking castle. Schnapps, jaguar blood, palm oil, popped cassava lamps, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. Odumankuma, Odumankuma, Insohini Poseidon, Insohini Neptune, orgasm, the altar is lush. Eat. Thank you.
And Insohini Bosompo. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for Great for sharing your work with us. Apart from sharing your work, maybe let me start with Zafi Art. Any comment on your selection and what you envisage doing in Curaçao? And then maybe one person also from the Curaçao side to share what their vision for future engagement.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jackson. Yes, first of all, thank you, Curaçao, Joeri, the Writers Project of Ghana, for such beautiful opportunity. And I am really, really grateful. I am looking forward to the relationship and the fact that the theme, I think the main theme of this whole initiative is how we can heal ourselves as people, as Africans, which has been something that I've been matters to me a lot. As Nanaya put it, for instance, if we can talk to ourselves instead of always being about that one common people or one common thing that seem to be the cause of our woes. I, for instance, as a person, as a creative individual, the opinion or what the conclusion I have, where I stand now is we working on ourselves, self-healing, getting to ourselves, working on our wrong, and seeing how best we can move on past whatever might have happened to us. For instance, the piece I delivered has not to do with romance or just a person being suicidal. It is about every human race, especially the African, where we seem to be stuck in the past. And yet, if you look at us, if you look at ourselves in the mirror, in that mirror, we can tell that most of what we're going through presently, the fact that we seem not to be able to move forward, is us. And currently, for instance, with the challenges and struggles or the social issues, right from the individual to the collective, things that troubles us, puts most of us or the youth to suffer mental health. In the struggle, we wish to go back to where the one common thing or the one common place that we are claiming put us in this state. So let's say slavery as it is. Let me just be blank. Now, most of us want to travel to that other world, to the Westerners. But the question is, why do we condemn something? Why do we claim a place or people were not good for us? And yet we can't do what is good for us on ourselves, but we want to take ourselves back to the slavery. So have I lost?
Have some audio issues.
We lost a little bit, but at least your points have been made by the time we lost you. So thank you very much for your comment. Anybody else from apart from Curaçao? Richelaine, would you like to speak? Because we've heard Elvira speak.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. I'm really very happy and grateful with the chance offered to me and Elvira to visit you all and to be part of the project of the process of connection. I have been in Ghana before, 6 years ago. I've also visited Kenya, and I was very impressed by my visit in Ghana, where we had the honor to participate in a village outreach project. And for 2 weeks, living with the people in the village and contributing, especially on the health side with them. So it was a really very, very nice impression. And I look forward to what Joeri also said, to be able to connect and to participate, perform, explore, and reflect. Look forward to seeing you all also in Ghana, and when coming back to take back a lot to continue the project, because it won't stop.
We look forward to seeing you and to engaging with you also. Thank you very much. Gabriel, you have something to say?
Yeah. Thank you once again, Bernard. Yeah, so I think Rita has said it all. Talking about the past, I get to understand that the wound is the place light enters us. Pain is good when you're able to redirect it positively, So my submission uses language, form, and lyrical pessimism to reframe the past beautifully. So yeah, that was all my submission was about. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. And congratulations once again for
thank you, Bernard.
Becoming ambassadors for us.
Thank you.
Martin, quickly, any more announcements? I think maybe just a comment on the event on Wednesday next week in honor of Amotedu. We're looking for a writer for the month, and we have found a writer for the month. So can you share with us? You are muted, Martin.
Thank you. I will keep it very short because apart from we being out of time, I think the program is actually very local to Ghana, and we are having a next reading at the Goethe Institute on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And it is a series of readings and discussions in honor of one of Ghana's foremost female writers who sadly passed away earlier this year, Ama Ata Edu. And so at 7 p.m., our doors are open at Goethe Institute, Ghana in Cantonments, and we are going to have an exciting session there. So that's the announcement. But beyond that, I will leave it to Joeri to tell us about on incoming or scheduled inspiration sessions, because this certainly is not going to be the last, and there are more coming.
Yes, for sure, Martin. We are going to plan the next inspiration session. I think since we will be very busy with the festival in September, and also with the people traveling back and forth, maybe we should plan the next one right after the Baja Festival and invite the people that have participated in both festivals to join and share the experiences. So we haven't fixed the date yet, but I think it will be probably the second half of October then, if that's okay with you also. We'll discuss that more in detail. And just coming back to what Rita said, yes, as a matter of fact, our theme of the festival this year is, can we heal ourselves? So we ask all participating artists to, get inspired by that theme on different levels. And I think that's also what we're trying to do here through art and through the connection that we're establishing here. So from my side, I'm just very grateful to have you on board. I think it was a very inspiring session, and looking forward to the next one. In the meantime, for the people in Ghana who want to follow us, our name is Wintertuin Curaçao, which is a bit difficult. Let me just write it in the chat real quick. So if you want to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you may do so. And you can always also contact us through the Transatlantic Relatives website. If you have any questions, if you want to submit, or you want to know more about Curaçao, then please do not hesitate, and we'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Thank you also to Chris already left, but thank you very much, Dr. Barnard, for being our host today, and looking forward to meeting you also in person. And of course, thank you to my good colleagues and friends, Martin and Nanayo.
Thank you all, and thank you everyone for staying with us. An hour is already gone, But the conversation has been great. It has been interesting. And there's a lot of potential in this project. As someone said right now, I think it was Richlin, this is not going to end. This is just the beginning. So we are grateful for all your contributions and your support and your encouragement. We look forward to seeing you again somewhere end of October. And so keep yourselves informed by visiting our various websites. And thank you for being here with us. Hope that you have a great evening, a great afternoon, and looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you once again, Martin, Yuri, and Nanaya for having put this together. Thank you, Crystal, for being on, and say our thanks also to Kaviani and Lenora. Thank you very much. Yeah, and everybody else, good night and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye.